In every community, there is a voice. In Milpitas, that voice is unique. That voice is diverse. That voice is innovative. That voice is expressive. That voice is multicultural. That voice is groundbreaking. That voice is thought-provoking. That voice is powerful. These are some of the residents from Milpitas who make up that voice. And they deserve a news source that will represent them to the fullest.
Hi, this is Mitch Costanza, and Unfiltered is back. Want to let you know that we had a long panel, so we pushed a little bit, and we're going to have things happening, but just a little bit pushed back, so hang in there with us. We're going to make it all happen. And right now we got something pretty cool. We have Assemblymember Chu with us. Welcome to our show.
Thank you, Mitch, for having me here.
I'm really stoked you're here. Now tell me about trying to get here with the oil. Like, tell me what's going on here. The gas leak?
There was something going on, so I have to take a detour. That's why I'm a few minutes late. Apologize.
No worries. So I have a question for you. During your term as Assembly member, what is the one thing that you're most proud of that you were able to do, contribute, be a part of? What would you say that is? What's the first thing that comes to mind?
If it's only one thing, I will say that we'll be able to pass the SB1, which to increase.
So what's that? Can you let everyone know what's the SB1?
It's a bill to increase a moderate increase of gas tax to maintain our roadway, the state bridges, and so on and so forth. It's been a long time that the state legislature have the courage to really facing this issue of a gas tax increase, and I'm very proud of my fellow colleagues in this legislature term to put a bill to increase the gas tax. And we do a lot of measures to improve the transportation. And I want to thank the voters to approve the Regional Measure 3, the RM3, which will increase the bridge toll. And I was very successful to make sure that the bridge toll money was spent on have a seamless connection between 880 and 680.
Right, I know what that is.
Yeah, on along the Mission Boulevard, or it could be under the Mission Boulevard, or fly over the Mission Boulevard, and also to finish the light rail line from Allen Rock all the way to Eastridge.
Let me ask you a question. So what I'm hearing is, well, first of all, I love all the plans and goals and things that you're already working on. You sound very organized. So I just want to let you know that.
Thank you.
It's pretty good. But, just to the regular voter, they might be thinking, what? Gas increase? I have to pay more? So what do you say to those people that are just hearing that and not hearing anything else because they don't want to give more money to gas or they don't want to give more money to the bridge toll, which there is some validity there? What do you say to them, again, about the good that's going to come of that?
Well, the transportation or road are definitely not very well maintained. Mm-hmm. And this is for 10 years of deferred maintenance. And we have some budgetary issues at the state as well as the local city. And so it was not under priority for many city level government as well as the state. And so we're trying to shed some light on that to make sure that a lot of many of our roads or most of our roads will be able to be move up to at least a C or B level, to repair the potholes.
I was just going to say, what about the potholes?
Right.
That was actually a discussion earlier amongst the mayors.
That's
the potholes.
Right. That money is really targeted to the maintaining of our existing roadway. We cannot use that money on the new construction. It's strictly a maintenance. And just to be fair to everybody, those people that drive the all-electric vehicles, we increased their registration fee because they also contribute the wear and tear of our roadway.
Of your roads.
And one of the big concerns when I was first studying this proposal is that how can we make the state or local government more accountable? So this money earmarked for road maintenance will not be diverted into any other purposes.
Right.
And that's why in last June, we have the voter passed one of the measures or the proposition to really hold our state legislatures, state government, and local government accountable.
Let me ask you this. In the time that you served, what would you say some of your biggest disappointments are?
There's always, first of all, it's really a privilege to be able to serve the people of District 25.
Do you love this town, this city?
I love the neighborhood where I lived for the last, since 1976. But the fact that 80 assembly members came from all different parts of California, from all kinds of different background, all kinds of different interests. So when I first got elected to the legislature, people asked me, what is the biggest difference, between serving as the San Jose City Council and the state legislature? My immediate reaction is that now I need to count up to 41 because there were the 80, right? I mean, you have to be for the bill to pass your own house. You have to be able to get 41 votes. And and very quickly I learned that I need to come up to 62 because the same bill will have to go to the Senate, and I have to get 21 votes from the Senate, to move it toward the governor's desk.
Right.
So I need to come up to 63, including the governor, to get anything done. So it is a very long process to have any bill to become a law, very different than the city government, where a lot of issues can be resolved.
Speaking of issues, Thursday. What do you think the biggest problem is, and how do you plan to fix it? And if that is what you already spoke about the gas tax, can you tell me something else? So
the problem, the gas tax, definitely because of our road are poorly maintained. But the biggest problem that we're facing really throughout California, more on the urban area, is the homelessness issue.
Excellent. Not excellent, but I really appreciate you bringing that up.
Right. But a homeless issue or housing issue is actually on the other side of the transportation issue, because we don't have enough housing built close to where people's work. So people have to get onto their vehicles and to drive to where they work. And then because of the high cost of living in this area, and people end up moving to Tracy, further down to the Central Valley and commute to work in Silicon Valley. And like all those freeways or roadways that entering the Silicon Valley in the morning is so congested. And people live, say, in Tracy, may easily take more than an hour to get to where they work.
Right.
And so that's more than 2 hours.
I live in Oakland, and it takes me almost 2 hours to get here.
Easily, right?
Yeah.
And so that's a big concern of me, because 2 hours each way, that total up to close to 4 hours a day.
Right, that you're away from your family.
Exactly. I feel those are the time that you could be with your family. And also that 2 hours idling on the freeway. Your vehicle, if you're not driving an all-electric vehicle, you're emitting a lot of the greenhouse gas and polluting our city and
So what do you think
atmosphere.
of BART?
So we're very supportive of bringing BART all the way down to San Jose. I'm very proud to say that in the new 16 miles from Fremont to Berryessa, 3 of the stations are in my district: the Warm Spring, the Milpitas, and the Berryessa station. But we need to make sure that we can bring the BART all the way down to downtown San Jose. I don't want that same story what happens to the light rail and repeat it on the BART. Because the light rail system is supposed to go all the way down to East Ridge, right? And that's what we promised the voter 20-some plus years ago. And now with the RM3 money, I'm going to be very, very vigilant and forceful to make sure that we finish the light rail to East Ridge.
What does that mean, vigilant and forceful? Like, I hear what you're saying, but give me the specifics. Is it getting things passed? Is it talking to people? Like, what does that involve?
It's already in the book. They say, hey, when we presented the Measure 3 to the voter, we have a list of projects that will benefit from this pot of money, right? But it's a very competitive process, right? Everybody else, in the Bay Area region, they're trying to get their hands into the jar and then, fight for what they need in their district. So to protecting, the committed funding revenue, it takes a lot of work.
What about housing? You mentioned housing, and there's been some talk of that housing could be a plus, but not in certain areas where it's maybe going to make Milpitas a metropolis. So if you wanted more housing, where would you want to put that housing?
Well, we definitely wanted to focus on the transit node, and transit stations. I just took a tour of the Milpitas BART station. We went up to the roof of the parking lot, and I look around. My immediate thought is that, well, those houses can be built a little bit taller,
right?
But understand that if you build above 60 feet, then you have to use concrete and steel and concrete. That could increase the building cost of the and increase the sales price of those housing. But we cannot grow out because the land is so limited and so precious, and so we have to be able to build up. And Milpitas is not in the landing area of the San Jose International Airport.
Right.
Not like downtown San Jose.
So you can. There is that
definitely
potential.
Yeah. There's a high limit because.
And why are some people against that? Against building higher buildings in Milpitas?
There's a lot of people. They are just anti-growth. Right. I mean, they were concerned about. The more people were crowded our streets and cause more traffic congestion. But if we make the smart growth and we build housing closer to where they work, if we build the housing closer to the transit station, and hopefully they will not contribute more congestion and on our roadway.
Right. So my other question is, if you get elected, and you've already covered so much, and it's really great to talk to you, and thanks for all the specificity. Going forward, outside of the things you mentioned, what's something that you are looking forward to tackling this time around, even if it's just more of a back budget thing, just something that you feel passionate about?
Well, a couple of things, and the wheels start turning, which I'm actually having a meeting with the Caltrans, which responsible of maintaining our state roads, and want to bring Caltrans with all the city leaders to see how can we cooperate to keep our freeway, like 237, which is a stateway, clean, there's vegetation abatement and graffitis and the homeless camp. So
Right.
we're trying to collaborate at that level with the local government. And the other thing very concerned of me is the water supply. How can we make sure that we have a good, reliable, clean water supply to our metropolitan area? We're out of drought, but you know that the next one may be coming. It's coming. You just don't know when.
Right.
So we need to, at the state level, make sure that will has the least impact to metropolitan area when the next drought hit us.
Yep.
And the other some other issue is public safety. There's a huge increase of car breaking.
Oh man, yeah, I know all about that. It's the worst feeling.
So it is. We're on one hand, we're trying to allocate some one-time budget to address this issue, and that probably include how can we educate our residents, not to leave any
Sure. But why is there an increase in those crimes? And does it have something to do with the poverty level dropping, or is there anything that you can pinpoint as to why there are more of that, or has there always been?
There was definitely a spike, and to everybody's guess. What happened? It's a good question. What happened with I was asking for that same question before. And the fact that is our police force is so small, and they usually don't have the resources to go after those people. He broke into your car,
Right.
They say, well, file a report online. And they really, really don't have the resources to go after them because it's not a high level of crime.
Right.
It's not like a homicide or something. So we have a very, very a little data on why it's spiked up, and everybody has a different theory.
Right.
But the point is that it could be prevented if you leave your valuables out of sight. And better, but I'm telling people not to leave anything.
I take my stereo out.
And most importantly, any Wi-Fi devices. Don't leave it. And say, well, I hide my notebook under my seat. But now that with a high-tech thief,
they'll just go for everything.
They have a way to find out whether there's a Wi-Fi device in your car.
Oh, great.
And so that's why they target your car.
Right.
So even if you hide it underneath the chair, they will still get it. So turn it off, if you have a Wi-Fi device.
So you want to protect the people in Milpitas from theft.
Definitely. Yeah. And we're also trying to allocate some funding for a local. It will not be just Milpitas, but it's a regional thing.
For what? What would that money be for?
A task force to address this issue. Car breaking. It's more of a regional thing, not just in the city. And there are other things I'm passionate about, which I got, and at least a little small step this year
Yeah.
is to require that all public school has a mental health counseling services.
So I
to
want to
every
just
student.
I want to just like honor that for a second, because we're in a world right now where there's lots of violence and there are kids doing all sorts of things, and it is possible. Let's say if it's only 1% that what you're doing, and I think it's going to be more than that, that is exactly what could help and prevent these acts of violences and massacres amongst students. And these days there are so many different diagnoses amongst kids, and when they go to school, they're not getting any help there.
Right.
So what was really behind this, and why are you passionate about that?
Well, you're talking about the most extreme cases,
Right.
But I think,
But there's still suicide and self-harm.
Suicidal is another concern. And a lot of bullying in the school, and that have a negative impact to the victim or the target, the people that are being bullied.
So you would have a psychologist because some schools don't have that. My school only had a nurse. It never had a psychologist.
I wanted to have a mental health psychologist, or maybe not necessarily a psychologist, but mental health professionals.
Right.
In every school at a ratio of 1 to start out 200 students.
Wow.
And they're going to wash down to 1 to 600 students.
Right. But it's a good start.
It is a good start. It is a good start. So, we offer those help. It's a preventive measure, and we offer those help to the young people. And hopefully they'll be able to grow up with a bright mind and a healthy spirits and, and healthy mind. So
I think that's fabulous. My daughter, she goes to a charter school, which is a phenomenal school, but there's no mental health on campus. And there's plenty of kids going through things. So I think that's phenomenal. So I got 2 minutes left, and here's how I want to spend it. Can you just answer these few questions?
Sure.
Do you like to play golf?
No.
What do you like to do for fun and recreation?
Now we have 2 grandchildren.
Oh, yeah.
So playing with the grandchildren in the sandbox or miniature golf, I did that once.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Now, where do you go in Milpitas?
Right here in the Jacqueline.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Awesome. So that's great, because it's important for people to get to know you. You're a cool guy, so we might as well, right? So the last thing is, we got a minute left, is if you could just say one final word to voters out there who are watching, why you're the right vote.
Well, I'm very committed to what I'm doing. I have the experience. I start off my career as a Bay Area school board member and served Bay Area City for a council member for 8 years. And thanks for the voter, I was elected to this position twice in the last 4 years, and I'm running for my 3rd term. And I definitely wanted to thank all the support I got from the last 10 to 11 elections.
Wow.
And I'm hoping that they will continue have the faith and the confidence on me.
That's fantastic. We're out of time, but you nailed it all. This was awesome. This was a great interview. Thanks for coming in. Everyone, let's thank, well, no one's in here, but I want to say, everyone, let's thank Assembly Member Chu. And thanks so much for coming by.
Thank you for having me.
We'll be back soon.
All right, thank you.